YouTube, this is Dexter Nolan with a brand new deck profile. Today I'll be bringing you Geargia. This is a very good meta call at the moment because it has a lot of consistency as well as bringing an awful lot of traps which can slow down the stronger decks. It can also main floodgates such as Soul Drain, Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure, which heavily impair the abilities of Burning Abyss, Shadow and even Cliffworts. So let's get straight into this. We got 3 Geargia Augur. Augur is the main workhorse. He's the guy who's going to be your one card Gigant decks. He's going to be your big plays. He's kind of restricted in what he can do. You can't attack that turn, and it's only machine monsters you can summon. But other than that, he's a fairly good 3-of card in the deck. You got triple armor. Armor is a slower but less restrictive version of Augur. He needs to be flipped face up to get the search, but he can go into anything and you can attack that turn. Accelerator is the card you're going to be special summoning. He's the card you search, and it's the card that helps make the Gigantexes. If he's sent to the graveyard other than by being detached as an Exceed material, you can search. You can search a Geargia. Next, you got Arsenal. Arsenal is a speed play card. It's kind of a consistency. Added consistency to the deck. You can just summon this, go into Arsenal and flip it down, or sorry, go into Armor and then flip it down. So it's just an extra 3 copies of Armor pretty much. Great for the consistency. Next, these are my 2 tech choices of the deck. I had a low monster count, and I figured this card was great in the Burning Abyss matchup. And this card alone could kind of help me waste the resources. Because Burning Abyss is a very difficult matchup for this deck, simply because without our floodgates, they've more traps than us, and they're more consistent, as well as being able to float. It's a problematic matchup. So Denko Sekka helps offset that. It's dead in a lot of games, and it's definitely a card I side out when I'm not against Burning Abyss. But because Burning Abyss are the worst matchup against this deck, I'm maining them. Everything else we're pretty solid against. I got double Lance. This is a heavy back row deck, and I believe Lance is a very good spell card that works just as good as a trap card. So I have double Lance in there. I got 1 Regeki, 1 Soul Charge, 1 Mind Control. Regeki, whilst not the greatest card in this particular format, it's still a field wipe against any rogue decks, and it still kind of allows you to kind of push through for your OTKs. This deck can OTK pretty hard, so you want to have Regeki for those situations. Soul Charge is for making up a big field after your resources have ran out. Mind Control just for stealing a level 4 monster and then exceeding with it. I've also added in a couple of synchros to the extra deck just so I can maybe steal a Falco or something. We got 1 Dimensional Fissure. That's one of the floodgates I mentioned. It banishes monsters that are sent to the grave except for Exceed materials, so it works perfectly with this deck. Triple MST, just against those floodgates, nice to have. Grayed out has so many cards. Next, for the traps, as you can see, we've quite a lot of traps here. Triple D Prison. D Prison is just when your opponent's monster attacks, you can banish that monster. Great defensive card. Wasn't so good in previous formats, but I think right now it's great for when they attack with the Dante or maybe attack with a Construct. Double Trap Stun and double Wire Tap. As I said, Burning Abyss is a horrible matchup. It's great against cards like Sinister Shadow Games, Stellar Nova Alpha. This is a great card, and so is Trap Stun. I've run 2 of each because I wanted 4 trap negations, and I figure these are great. This is great for pushing OTKs through, and this is great for those problematic cards like Sinister Shadow Games or Sanctum. Next we have our staple 4. I play these in most decks. Whilst this card isn't as good this format, I still think these are 4 very important cards, especially in such a trap heavy deck like this. There's not much to say about these cards. You should just run them if you have them. Next for effect negation, I have 2 Breakthrough Skill and 2 Fiendish. I'm thinking about bumping this up to 3 Breakthrough Skill and 1 Veiler, or maybe 3 Breakthrough Skill and 1 Fiendish. I just wanted to have an appropriate amount of effect negation, and since I'm running such a half trap heavy deck, I think Fiendish is kind of that good in between. It kind of prevents attacking and also kind of prevents effects. Great all round card. And last but not least, it's Macrocosmos. I'm kind of considering keeping this card in and just keeping Soul Drain out, because when Neckcloths come out, Soul Drain will be rendered kind of whatever. It's not as good a card, but it will be great against, this card will be great against Neckcloths, Cliffworts and Burning Abyss, whereas Soul Drain is only really good against Burning Abyss. So yeah, I might sub it in maybe for that Fiendish or one of those cards I'm not too sure on, depending on how testing goes. Anyways, thank you very much for watching the deck profile. This is Anti-Meta Geargia, and peace out.